Then Bildad the Shuhite replied, "When will you end these speeches? Be sensible, and then we can talk. Why are we regarded as cattle and considered stupid in your sight? You who tear yourself to pieces in your anger, is the earth to be abandoned for your sake, or must the rocks be moved from their place?" So should a special exception be made for Job over anybody else ever in the world? The lamp of the wicked is snuffed out. The flame of his fire stops burning. The light in his tent becomes dark. The lamp beside him goes out. The vigor of his step is weakened. His own schemes throw him down. His feet thrust him into a net, and he wanders into its mesh. A trap seizes him by the heel. A snare holds him fast. A noose is hidden for him on the ground. A trap lies in his path. Terrors startle him on every side, and dog his every step. Calamity is hungry for him. Disaster is ready for him when he falls. It eats away part of his skin. Death's firstborn devours his limbs. He is torn from the security of his tent and marched off to the king of terrors. Fire resides in his tent, or nothing he had remains in his tent. Burning sulfur is scattered over his dwelling. Remember, that goes back to the Sodom and Gomorrah imagery. His roots dry up below, and his branches wither above. The memory of him perishes from the earth. Now that, like I said before, is the worst thing that could happen to these people in this culture at this day and time. Their version of hell, their version of eternal condemnation, was to have their memory die out from the earth. He has no name in the land. He is driven from light into darkness, and is banished from the world. He has no offspring or descendants among his people. That's why he has no name on the land. He has no children, no one to carry on his name. No survivor where once he lived. Men of the West are appalled at his fate. Men of the East are seized with horror. Surely such is the dwelling of an evil man. Such is the place of one who knows not God. And of course, obviously, what he isn't saying here, but obviously the thought is being communicated that Job is that one. You can just as easily put Job's name in there for all those he's and man's that you see mentioned in there, because that's what Bildad is implying here. Then Job replied, "How long will you torment me and crush me with words? 10 times now you have reproached me. Shamelessly you attack me. If it is true that I have gone astray, my error remains my concern alone. If indeed you would exalt yourselves above me, and use my humiliation against me, then know that God has wronged me, and drawn his net around me." So it isn't because of anything that I've done this is happening to me. Even if it was, it's my fault and my fault alone. But it's not. God has simply chosen to attack me for reasons that I can't understand. Though I cry, I've been wronged, I get no response. Though I cry for help, there is no justice. He has blocked my way so that I cannot pass. He has shrouded my paths in darkness. He has stripped me of my honor and removed the crown from my head. He tears me down on every side until I am gone. He uproots my hopes like a tree. His anger burns against me. He counts me among his enemies. His troops advance in force. They build a siege ramp against me and encamp around my tent. So God has declared war on Job. He has alienated my brothers from me. So he has family members who are still alive. The only family members who died were his offspring, his children. Come on, get down. Ugh. Oh, goodness. Being annoying. He does have siblings who are still alive and other relatives and acquaintances who are still alive and have distanced themselves from him. My kinsmen have gone away. My friends have forgotten me. My guests and my maidservants count me as a stranger. So apparently he still had some servants left who didn't die in the attacks. I don't know. They look upon me as an alien. I summon my servant, but he does not answer. So I beg him with my own mouth. My breath is offensive to my wife. We read about his wife earlier. She's still alive. I am loathsome to my brothers. Even the little boys scorn me. When I appear, they ridicule me. Now again, this culture, as in many cultures around the world for much of human history, the young were supposed to show respect to the old. They don't really do this today, but they were supposed to. In this culture, they were supposed to, and they did until this happened to Job. Now the kids mock him and scorn him, and they were supposed to show him respect and deference. All my intimate friends detest me. Those I love have turned against me. I am nothing but skin and bones. I have escaped only with the skin of my teeth. Have pity on my friends. Have pity. For the hand of God has struck me. Why do you pursue me as God does? Will you never get enough of my flesh? Oh, that my words were recorded, that they were written on a scroll, that they were inscribed with an iron tool on lead, or engraved in rock forever. Well, I guess his words are going to be by somebody. I guess someone out there somewhere down the line is going to write his words on a scroll, huh? I know that my Redeemer lives. Or my Defender. And that in the end he will stand upon the earth, or upon my grave, the earth where I'm buried. Now, I remember in their culture they had the idea of a family redeemer, someone who avenged you, or who bought your property if you couldn't any longer. So he is not really. I mean, obviously this verse and this section here, as well as other things he has said so far, are going to find their full fulfillment in Christ. But Job doesn't know that. Okay, Job is asking for a mediator between him and God. He's going to get one eventually. The priests in Israel were supposed to do this, mediate between God and the nation, because he's not an Israelite. And they had this idea of family redeemer, or family avenger, who would pay back, who would cover your debts or whatever. We'll read about an example of that in the book of Ruth with Boaz. So that's the way he's thinking of like a human redeemer, or a human avenger. Of course, his words ultimately find their fulfillment in Jesus, but he doesn't know that this time. So I'm going to have a redeemer who lives and will stand upon the earth, my grave, where I'm buried in the end. And after my flesh has been destroyed, and my skin has been destroyed, yet in my flesh I will see God. Or after I awake, though this body has been destroyed, I will see God. I myself will see him with my own eyes. I and not another. How my heart yearns within me. If you say, how we will hound him, since the root of the trouble lies in him, you should fear the sword yourselves. For wrath will bring punishment by the sword, and then you will know that there is judgment, or then you may come to know the Almighty. A lot of alternate translations in that section there. You guess the language is difficult at that point, huh?